Hey everyone! So, another day. It's been a few days since my last video. Um, a lot of stuff has gone on recovery wise, and I'm going really, really, really well. Uh, Pretty much all of the problems that I'd had have been dealt with. Um, Dilation still isn't easy by any means, but for one, it's a whole lot easier. For two, swelling is still yet to go down, so I'm not sure how much that's factoring into things still being difficult. And one of the main things is that I'm still not quite allowed to use the large, and I feel like once I can get back onto that, I could train myself up to the large. Once I'm trained onto that, I feel like I can actually go through the training process now that a lot of other people go through, the process of increasing the width of their dilators up to ones above what Suborn actually provides you with, which a lot of people tend to do. Um, there's a lot of discussion over whether the large dilator is in fact wide enough, whether he should be providing like an extra large version for some people, but I guess that comes down to your partner preference slash who you wind up with. Um, and there's a lot of talk about like widths, and it's like, well, it doesn't really matter the measurements because glass is a whole lot different than skin, which is actually malleable. Blah 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 blah. The point is, I feel like I can actually train myself up now, like I originally intended to do, and that's great news. And yeah, every other problem I've had is fixed. Um, the the aesthetic I can't comment on too much. It's still healing. It's still very obviously swollen. I'm still being told that yes, that is swelling. Like that's not how it's gonna look. So I think it'll be good. I'm judging from my last experience and the way that things healed, and comparing it to how things are going now, I think that the end product's going to actually be really, really good. Something I'll really be happy with. So yeah, for anyone struggling really, really, really hard with there's a good chance that your scar tissue has healed too inflexible, and you need to go back to for a revision. And any unnamed Supporn Clinic email administrators who tell you otherwise can go fuck themselves. Also, you notice I got a haircut. Look, looky. I got some bangs done. I got some cascades done. I got some highlights hanging around. Um, I got so yeah, bangs. You guys can just look at a previous video to see what it looked like. And there's some shorter bits around here that are a bit hard to see, but yeah, and I got it trimmed at the back. And the highlights, they took like an hour, and that cost me 1,500 baht, which is crazy cheap. If I was to go to a proper salon in Australia and get all that done, that was like an hour and a half, 2 hours of work. That'd set me back a solid $200. So yeah, 1,500 baht is good. So if you want to get a haircut, then not a bad idea to do it while you're here. Obviously, as with everything else, leave it until the point of you being able to sit down comfortably in a chair for a while. And there is one little thing I want to mention as well. And I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't think this is the right place. I've probably said this a million times before, but I do plan to eventually make a sort of a separate channel that focuses on a lot of things, but including of which is various societal and social justice issues and social commentary and all stuff like that. And yeah, if I end up creating a video that goes more in depth onto this issue, then I will link to it in the description at some point. But for now, I just want to say this. I've mentioned before that there are there's a big distinction here between the people who have privilege outside of this place and the people who don't. And I'm gonna straight up throw some shade here. If you're gonna come to Chonburi and make a bunch of people feel like shit about themselves and just constantly give backhanded insults, kind of imply that people aren't attractive or that they're not womaning hard enough, and you're just gonna constantly talk shit about all the surgeries you've got and are getting and all the stuff you've got done and your fucking like 3 hour like makeup hair routine and all that crap. And on top of that, if you're gonna act like an entitled little princess brat and shit talk the hotel staff, the nurses in the clinic, the nurses in the hotel, in the hospital, Dr. Bank, and basically just everyone, fuck off. Just fuck off. Simple as that. The trans community has enough hatred being flung at it without fellow trans people chiming in to say that there's some standard for femininity that other people aren't reaching. And on top of that, like, we're one of the most underprivileged people on this planet. You'd think that you'd learn to check your own privilege when you do have privilege. I'm sitting around here checking my white privilege all fucking day. I'm sitting around, like, if you guys don't have me on social media, like, I'm constantly talking about the rights of Native Australians, especially, is a really big one. I'm constantly talking about Australia's horrendous offshore detention camps. I could go on. I talk a fucking lot about the awful racism of this world, and I will say straight up that as a white person, I benefit from systemic racism, and I'm doing my best to dismantle that, right? So if I can check that privilege, then you should be able to check yours, and not come here and talk about how all the surgeries you're getting and all the bullshit that your boyfriend is paying for. Fuck off with that. Anyway, so with that out of the way, it's story time, and I need to give a bit of a content warning on this one. I normally don't really give content warnings because I gave all my content warnings way back in episode 0. I told people up front that there'd be a lot of very blunt chat, but I need to give a content warning because although I'm making light of it because I found the situation very amusing, what occurred to me today was technically a non-consensual sexual encounter. So content warning for people like that. Wasn't anything aggressive. There's no violence involved, but interesting situation. So me and a friend, we went to a massage place, and this is a pretty well-known massage place. It's like you cross the Blue Bridge, as it's called, and you go down the street that's right next to it, and it's like 4 or 5 doors down. It's a massage place. They offer like 500 baht 2-hour herbal massages. They're really good. The massage that they gave me was amazing, and I feel incredible. But that being said, given that I went there with another person, I did have a method of comparison to work out whether the massage experience that I had was the norm or not, and I don't think it was. I don't know if I accidentally gave off some kind of secret signal. I don't know if the woman who was doing my massage just happened to be so inclined. But let's say she took some liberties. So, the one thing that I can think of that may have been my doing was that when I was on my front and and she was massaging my back, there was a lot of times where she kind of like tried to tug they give you these like super baggy pants to wear, as a lot of massage places do. Um, and yeah, she kept trying to kind of pull them down a bit to get access to lower on my back, and I kind of leaned back and asked her if she wanted me to loosen them, and for her convenience. And she didn't speak. It seemed like she didn't speak any English. The couple of times I tried to say basic things to her, she like called someone over to check what I was saying. But this time she just kind of nodded her head, and I loosened the tying thing on the pants, and yeah, after that point, she was taking some liberties. At a couple of points, she straight up put her hand down my pants and was massaging my butt cheeks. It was a pleasant experience, but it certainly may not have been a pleasant experience for many people. And the slightly more worrying bit is that the second part of the massage is a Thai herbal thing. They get this bag of herbs that's like soaked in hot water. It's almost like a tea, and they wrap it in a towel and they kind of bap it against your skin a few times, and it's kind of like a mix between one of those kind of hitting massages and like a heat massage, and it smells really herby and nice, and it's really good. But also during that bit, she was paying quite a lot of attention to my rear, and also quite a lot of attention to directly between my legs, to the point where if I had have been early recovery post-op rather than at the end of a revision trip, then I probably would have had to ask her to stop for fear that she was pressing too hard. So yeah, I don't know if that loosening of my pants was accidentally some kind of fucking covert like happy ending message. I don't know. um I enjoyed it. I had fun. I'm a pretty open person, so that was a pleasant experience for me. But warning for both the conservative and the more fragile in their journey, you might have to tell them to ease off if you go to a massage parlor. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know. The other person that I was with, that just didn't happen to them, and I don't know if that was because of the masseuse. I don't know if it was because they saw that she had a pillow and I did not. I don't know why. I just yeah, be warned that you may have to vocally tell someone not to touch your genitals with a herbal heat pack, and also be warned that that might happen in case you're the type who enjoys that sort of thing. So yeah, that was that was an experience. Yeah, there's story time, and there's also an excellent clickbait title of Shin's Thai massage happy ending. That's probably gonna do about as well as my super dilation episode in terms of being clickbaity. All right. So yeah, I'm doing fantastic in recovery. My Tomorrow I'm going to Central, so I might have another update if I get a bunch of cool finds over there. Maybe I'll find some more clothes. Maybe they'll have another weird Japan festival where I'll pick up some more schoolgirl cosplay outfits like last time. So yeah, I might have an update on that. And my next and final check-in with Supporn is the day after that, so I'll probably have some more to say then. I'm very curious as to when I'll be able to go back to my old once every 3-day dilation schedule. It feels like soon. It feels like things are loosening back up to, not loosening, but going back to before, where I can take a lot longer between dilations and things have, largely stayed the way that they were when I finished. So it feels like that won't take longer. I'm gonna guess 2 weeks. I'm gonna guess this is a month-long thing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I want to know when I can have sex again. I want to know when I can. There's a few things that I forgot that I need to write down. I keep forgetting to write them down. I keep forgetting to ask him. When I can go back to the lodge, that's one of them. Yeah, basically when I can go back to doing things. And I'll update you guys on that. So yeah, that was that. Don't be a shithead, and be wary of frisky masseuses. Take care, everyone. Love and respect.